just reminds me of that whole, gotta put you in 7 positions for 70 minutes, you get it, babe. You got a lot in your mind, I wanna eat something, I can slip it in. I'm not gonna sing that song to start this video, are we? Are we? We'll just leave it in. Hi guys, and welcome back to another video. So I realised that last month, the month of May, was my 7-year vegan anniversary, and I thought, why not make a video about it? I was going to do something extravagant, like maybe a 10k challenge or making like a giant cake or something, but then I thought, you know what, is that really helpful? Probably not. So I've decided to do a quick, and I'm going to make this quick, she says, sit down, kind of talk about why I'm vegan, how I became vegan, did a transition from like flat out non-vegan to vegan, or what was the situation, and then my top tips for going vegan and staying vegan. Because there's plenty of people out there that have been vegan, and there's especially influencers that have been vegan and are no longer vegan anymore, and I will always respect other people's decisions. My mum has this quote that says, she said it her whole life, and it's live and let live, and I just feel like that is just the best way to go through your life, as long as people aren't being horrible. And thus you have to respect people's decisions in life and what they feel is best for them. But as you know, I have been vegan now for 7 years, and I plan to stay vegan for another 175 million, because quite frankly, I just love it. I think it's a funny concept, because I think you get messages from people all the time, or you know, you see people who have been vegan and are no longer vegan, and I think, how can you go from eating only plant-based foods and then putting an egg in your mouth? Oh, I physically couldn't, and that's just personal preference and journey. And I would never say to anyone who is like a carnivore or vegetarian or pescatarian or whatever their lifestyle is, that you should eat like that, because I wouldn't want people to say that to me. I think that everyone has to do what they feel is best for them, and hopefully over time make right decisions for themselves. For example, my husband was not vegan for 3.5 years of our relationship, and I remember thinking, you will one day, I just not. And then one day overnight, that was how we switched, and there was never any like, you should do this, you shouldn't do that. There was never any forcing it upon him, never any negativity, nothing like that, because I don't feel like negativity can lead to positivity ever. Like, that just isn't a thing. But anyway, that's just my little introduction to this video, and let's get into my story. So I was very lucky in that when I was growing up, I had a healthy lifestyle. So my parents fed me predominantly a vegetarian diet. Was it vegetarian? Well, yeah, because we really only ate like as children, chicken and fish. There was never red meat or anything like that in our house. It was always just kind of chicken and fish. But as I got to my teenage years, I dropped the chicken part, and therefore was mostly, in fact I was pescatarian from probably around, I never remember the age, 12, 13 years old. I'm now 26, so I've spent a good 13, 14 years without meat. I'm alive. I'm still alive. And I was always in sport when I was younger as well. So dancing and swimming were my two things, but I dropped the dancing because I can't, I mean, if you see my TikTok, I can't dance to save myself. So I was a swimmer growing up, and you know, trained like 5 times a week, sometimes 6. I have chocolate all over my hand. 5 and 6 times a week. I did like running at school and all that kind of thing. So I've always been active, and I've always eaten like a relatively healthy diet, and I'm saying healthy compared to like the average diet. My parents never really, you know, took us to McDonald's and all that kind of stuff. That was like rare. That was like birthdays or like occasions. We would never just be like coming home from school and get a McDonald's. That was like never a thing, which I'm so grateful for. By the way, speaking of which, people are going crazy right now because McDonald's is open back up, and every time I drive past it, there's security, because the queue is ridiculous. I'm thinking, people, chips aren't that good. I mean, I like McDonald's chips, right? But I probably have them once a year, and it's probably when I'm hungover, if I'm hungover, which again is probably once a year. but the world's just, it's mesmerising me right now. But yes, I grew up relatively healthy in terms of my diet compared to the average diet, and was always in sport. So for me, having a active healthy lifestyle, eating fruit and veg, porridge, all that kind of stuff was not weird to me in any way whatsoever. I actually always found it strange people in school that were never in sports or clubs or anything like that. So like after school I'd be like, oh, what are you doing? They were like going home, and I was like, oh, I need to do my homework, then I have to go swimming training for 2 hours, and then this and then that, and they were just kind of like, all right, that's fine. But everybody's different. So yes, that's kind of my background. And then as I got to, I think I must have been about 19, I actually just met Marco at the time, and obviously when we were going on our first date I was like, buddy, and just to let you know, I'm pescatarian, I don't eat meat, in case he took me to like a steakhouse or something, and he actually took me to like a seafood restaurant, which again, I don't even pick fish because I don't even really like fish. I was like, I'm just okay. I had like some kind of tart, like some kind of cheese and tomato tart or something like that, and I will never forget the creme brulee because it was the best creme brulee I've ever had in my life. But hey ho, creme brulee was 7 years ago. So when I first went vegan, I had only met him for like a month, and I remember being like, I'm vegan now, by the way. And 7 years ago was what, 2013? People did not know what a vegan was, especially where I live. It was like a foreign concept. People were like, you have to eat meat, even though I'd been vegetarian for so long. But whilst I was pescatarian, I did have dairy as well. So I might have to look up the definition of pescatarian, because I'm not sure if pescatarians also eat dairy and eggs. But pretty much through my teenage years, I ate fish like once or twice a week, and then I had dairy, like eggs, and not like eggs, dairy and eggs, yogurts, ice cream, that kind of thing, desserts. But when I went vegan 7 years ago, I mean, it baffles me when I think about it now, because as you know, I am such a sweet tooth person. I love desserts, ice cream, cakes. Like, I will have a cream cake with ice cream, squishy cream, pouring cream, custard, maple syrup, the works, because I love it. And obviously 7 years ago there wasn't such a thing as like vegan custard and vegan cream and ice cream and Ben and Jerry's and all this kind of stuff. So at the very start I was like, okay, this is a wee bit making ice cream from bananas, you know, which I used to do quite a lot on my YouTube channel. But anyway, that is kind of the gist of it. I started being vegan about, in fact it was 7 years ago, and I actually started at Rotto 4. I can't remember if you've stuck around that long. I made YouTube videos being like Rotto 4, so eating mostly like fruit and that kind of thing, then having like cooked dinners. And it worked really well in terms of I liked the food I was eating, however it just didn't suit my goals. So you can be vegan, you can be any kind of vegan. You can be a junk food vegan that basically is in the queue at McDonald's right now, waiting for the spicy veggie wrap with the extra chips, probably large chips, maybe even a Coke, and the apple pie, because the apple pie, I'm sure, in McDonald's is vegan, don't quote me, could be different in your country. Or you could be a total raw vegan, you could be a Rotto 4 vegan, you can just be eat whatever you want when you feel like it vegan, or you can be like a fitness vegan. So for me it was trying to work out what kind of food I liked and then what my goals were. And I must say, I feel like I am, the past few years I've just known exactly how to eat for my own taste, my own appetite, my own goals and that kind of thing, and how to feel the best that I can feel. I feel really strange making this video and I don't know why. I feel like I've not actually sat and did a sit down video for ages, and I'm a bit hyper today, so I think that might be it. This video is not going to be short. So I want to just go through my kind of you'll know what my diet's like just now if you watch my what I eat in a day videos. I very much eat, I mean, calorie wise I really don't know. It can range from 2,000 to 3,000. It really just depends on how I'm feeling. I do stick to mostly the same foods just because I know that's what works for me, that's what I enjoy, and it's a convenience thing more than anything. So I always have porridge during the day, bulky protein smoothies for lunch. I'm not a fan of lunch, so I have a big breakfast, big dinner, and just a smoothie in the middle just to tide me over. And then I have like some kind of tofu, rice, veg or noodles or pasta or some kind of thing going on for my dinner. Macro wise, I do aim for 60% carb, 20% fat, 20% protein. However, I don't religiously track my macros or anything anymore. I just roughly kind of know what's in things and know like what I like to eat, if that makes sense. So that's just a kind of gist of how I eat. But I want to go through like top tips and just words of wisdom, because it's I think it's important. There's a lot of people, like I said, that have been vegan and aren't anymore, and I think that confuses a lot of people as to, oh, is it a diet, is it a lifestyle, is it like, why is it not working for people, that kind of thing. So personally, I have never taken any supplements as being vegan up until recently, and quite honestly, I only started taking them because I mean, I think I was just like googling stuff and like looking into stuff, and I thought maybe I'll take that, maybe I'll take this. I take a vegan omega supplement that has, is it DHA and EHA, I believe, in it, because you can't easily get one of those from food. I take a B12 and I take D3. Now I only take the D3 because I live in Scotland and it's miserable, and those are the only 3 supplements I take, and like I said, I've only started taking them recently, and I don't even take them every day. It's only really when I remember. But I had my blood work done less than a year ago, just out of curiosity, and there was nothing deficient in my body whatsoever. No vitamins, no minerals, like nothing. I mean, nothing. I wasn't panicked. On top of that, supplement wise, I take a protein powder. As you know, it's the vegan blend by My Protein. I like their chocolate one and their strawberry one, and I also take creatine in the smoothies as well. You can look up whatever protein brand you fancy. I just personally have used My Protein for maybe 3 or 4 years now, and there's always links to that in the description box down below. And again, I don't take a protein powder because I need a protein powder. Most people in fitness take protein because it's a very easy, very convenient way to just hit your protein goals. It's nothing to do with being vegan whatsoever. I am not protein deficient. I just find it an easy way. I like a sweet lunch, so I like to put it in my smoothies, and that is that. The top tips for being vegan and staying vegan and feeling good when you're vegan. Number 1, don't overcomplicate it. I feel like a lot of people very much just get way in over their heads, and they're trying to do so many complicated things, and they're trying to make like organic quinoa based avocado mousse pizza or something, I don't know, something wild and wonderful, when really, why not just make a chocolate mousse? I mean, in my cookbook up here, I do have a tofu mousse, but it is so good and it's very easy. But yes, just don't go crazy and trying to make all these weird concoctions, and your food doesn't have to be organic. I don't buy organic food. I think, in fact, literally nothing I buy is organic. And just keep it to, if you're coming from like a complete non-plant-based diet, so say your regular dinner's chicken, Thai green curry, right, let's just throw that out there. All you're really doing to swap that out to make it vegan is probably changing the curry paste you've used, and then changing your protein source. So instead of chicken, have a vegan chicken alternative, or have tofu, something like that. Your Thai green curry paste, Blue Dragon for example, theirs is vegan. It's just making sure it doesn't have fish sauce in it. And then that way all you're doing is changing those 2 things. You're not having to make a completely different dish, because your rice, your veg, your coconut milk, that's already vegan. I feel like people really do just kind of look at it and think they have to change their whole like menu for the week, when really you're just changing parts of it and components of it. If you're making porridge for example, realistically all you're changing is the milk you're using. If you have like burgers for dinner, just swap out the patty that you use and possibly the sauce. Like, it's really just looking at changing small things which make an overall big difference, rather than being like, right, I can't eat Thai green curry anymore. Actually you can, you just have to use a vegan protein instead of chicken. Number 2 is eating out and just being social in general. So I feel like when I first went vegan, restaurants were so behind the times, and honestly you could literally hardly eat anywhere. You would go to restaurants and you'd tell them you were vegan, and they'd be like, do you want a salad? And I was like, I don't want a salad. I really don't want a salad. So now there are so many restaurants. I mean, you can go to TGI Fridays, you can go to Frankie and Benny's, Zizzi's, where else can you go? Pizza Hut, Domino's even have a vegan pizza now. Like, Chinese restaurants, anywhere. You can probably go to about 90 if not 100% of restaurants, as long as it's not a steakhouse. Even then you could use a salad bar and get something that's vegan. I just find the easiest thing to do is, number 1, look up where you're going and see if they have a vegan menu in general. And if they don't, when you get there, just explain. And I always just look at the vegetarian menu and I say, see if I order this without the cheese, or if I have this without the milk or whatever, like how does that work? And you know, waiters and waitresses can ask chefs and they can really just make it vegan most of the time. Now, don't get me wrong, some people really still don't know what it is, so bear with me on that if you go to some restaurants, but most restaurants do cater for like vegans and vegetarians, so it's not difficult to eat out. 7 years ago it was hard, now not so much. So I find it best if you're going out with friends and family, it's always good to look up restaurants that have both menus, like both a vegan menu and a non-vegan menu, and that way everyone can just order what they want, and it's not a case of people who are really skeptical having to go to a vegan restaurant or you having to like eat a salad at a non-vegan restaurant. Find ones that have both, which so many do, like so many do. I feel like I should make a restaurant guide, but you can even go to Greg's now. Like you can go to Greg's and get a vegan sausage roll, you can get a donut, you can go to Subway, like Papa John's, everywhere, like everywhere. Point number 3 is kind of applies to like more things in life than just this, but I find it's always important to have a why. So why you're doing something is always what you would come back to if you ever struggle in any area of life. So for example, if I apply this to work, I apply it to sport, I apply it to the way I eat, I apply it to everything, like even like friends, like why am I friends with you, let me rethink that, or like relationships, like everything. What is your why? That's probably a bit dramatic, but I feel like if you have a reason for being vegan, it's almost more like in your mind as to why you're doing it, rather than oh I might just try that vegan thing and like see if I lose weight, or like I might try that vegan thing because everyone's doing it, or try to be bougie, or like hashtag on Instagram or whatever. Like you have to have a genuine reason for wanting to do it. Now whether that's for your health, whether that's for animal cruelty, or whether that's for the environment, or whatever other reason you can think of, then it doesn't really matter what your reason is, as long as you have a genuine reason to always go back to, so that you can think, right, that's actually why I'm doing this. For me, when I first went vegan, it was more because I just thought, you know what, I want to be as healthy as I can, and after looking at it online, I thought, I think this is the way for me. Over time, obviously, there's so many things that come into it, like the animals and the environment. I don't necessarily post about those things because I feel like that's not what my page is about. My page is very much more just about living like a healthy lifestyle, just having fun in life and all that, and I don't like to be too heavy with things, which is why I always avoid like drama and like controversy and all these kind of things, because I just feel like I want my page to be positive, happy, informative and all that kind of stuff. So always having a why, having a reason for why you do something is always so important, no matter what it is. I think my final note is going to be that you have to remember to enjoy life, especially food, because food is such a social thing, it's such an enjoyable thing, it's a comfort thing, it's like a fun thing. I love food, I love food so much and I would hate to be miserable around it and not to enjoy it. So as much as I love health and fitness, I, like I said, love dessert and I love pizza and I like going out to restaurants and all that kind of thing. So don't forget to enjoy yourself. Always have, you know, I mean, if you saw my dessert cupboard you would die. You would think, do you eat, like that's why you go to the gym, because look at that. Just don't give up your favourite foods, you know, just find vegan alternatives to things. Like, you know, like I said, you can get anything vegan now, you know, donuts, ice cream, cakes, everything, you can get everything vegan. So never give up like your food, even if you are you know, on a really kind of focused fitness journey. You still have to have chocolate, you still have to have all your favourite things. So always making sure you're having fun, you're enjoying what you're doing. I would hate for people to just look at veganism as like a diet or as like, I don't know, like a fad or something like that. It's so much more. It's a complete lifestyle. It is, it's just the way I live. And I find it, like when I talk about it to people, like if people ask me about it, I just think, well, I don't look at what you're eating as food. Like if one of my friends is like, oh, I had a lamb curry, I'm like, a lamb? Like what? Why would you have lamb? Like that's just bizarre to me. To me, like, an animal's an animal, and it's just very much not food to me. Of like, what is it you enjoy, like what food do you like, and just finding vegan alternatives for things, and just focusing on the fact that this is a lifestyle overall, and it's just the way that you choose to live. I very much don't, like, what's the word for this? Like I'm vegan, my husband's vegan, my parents are pescatarian, my sister's vegan, my whole like little personal circle is all just like mostly plant-based, so it's just very normal to me and it's just like my life. And actually the final point will be to educate yourself. It's so easy to just be like, oh, I'm gonna do it because everyone else is doing it, or my favourite YouTuber's doing it, or my friend's doing it, or whatever. Anything you do in life, whether it's the way you eat, whether it's the way you train, whatever, you have to research it and educate yourself. Just educating yourself in general about like, not even the benefits of veganism in terms of like external things, but just like why you want to do it for yourself. Not even just the benefits of it, but you know, like the best way to eat vegan, like balancing meals, all that kind of thing, and even educating yourself on how much you need to eat as a person. I feel like anything you do, like I said, educating yourself is the best thing to do, because then you know exactly what you're doing. Because I feel like that's kind of what happens with a lot of people, is they kind of start it and then they're like, I don't actually know like why I'm doing this or what I'm doing or anything like that, and they just kind of go, oh, like whatever, we'll forget about it. So yeah, I think that was 5 tips. 4 tips? 5 tips. I don't actually know. But I feel like I might do some kind of exciting video, like making a giant cake or something like that. I'm not entirely sure. But those are my top tips, my kind of story to becoming vegan and all that kind of thing. And yes, for those that always ask me, I will be vegan till the day I die. Why? I don't know. I just physically, well, I do know. I think once you have been vegan for so long, and also like you have that why and that mentality in your mind, that I don't see any animals or their products as food. Like I don't see it. Like I can't. People always ask me like, oh, if you weren't vegan anymore, like what would you eat? Like what would be the first thing you ate? And I'm thinking, nothing. Like there's nothing. I couldn't eat an egg. I couldn't. Do you know, I used to eat scrambled egg like every single day when I was vegetarian, pescatarian, whatever the word is. And see the thought of it now, even the smell of it, the thought of it, the look of it, oh, I physically can't. I just can't do it. And it's weird how your body changes. I used to be a big milk drinker as well, and I mean, the only thing that I really did like eat a lot, not a lot, but you know, often enough, was eggs and dairy. It wasn't, I mean, the fish was like once or twice a week, and you know, meat was just, I just never liked it. You know, once I hit teenage years, I was like, Mum, I'm not eating that anymore, I don't like it. So to me now, yeah, it's just, I think once that, like, I don't know how to describe it, it's almost like a switch. Also ignore the colour of my nails, I hate them. It's like a kind of switch in your mind as to, that isn't food to me anymore, and that's just how my mind works. It's also important to note that there's absolutely no such thing as a perfect vegan. You can be a junk food vegan, you can be a super healthy one, you can have a 6-pack, or you can have like 6 belly rolls. It really doesn't matter. Like whatever it is you want to do is the way you want to do it. Now, whether you're an ethical vegan, whether you're a dietary vegan, whether you fight for the environment as well, whether you're a protester, an activist, or like whatever way you want to do it, so long as you're doing something, it's important. Now I have such a big belief in that. Even if someone's vegetarian or pescatarian, or if someone recycles, or if you're just a bit conscious of your actions and how they affect the planet, or some part of the planet, then I feel like you're doing something right. There's no such thing as a perfect vegan, or a perfect person, or a perfect anything, perfect body, perfect workout plan, perfect mind, but perfect nothing. It doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. And I think that is also the key to happiness, my friends. Nobody is perfect, and you never will be. Ta-da! That's a bit like, thanks for that. But yeah, there's no such thing as being a perfect vegan, and I feel like that's the one thing. And this isn't just in the vegan, vegan community. It's like in all communities, you know, like fitness and whatever, is that there's no such thing as being perfect. And there is obviously, there are people who are so extreme in any area of like anything, that are like, you're not doing this right, you're not doing that enough, or blah 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 blah. I don't understand hateful vegans, because the point of being vegan in my eyes is to try and just be a bit more conscious, be a bit more loving and accepting, and like equal and fair and all these kind of things. And if you're going to be hateful about it and negative about it, you're really not sticking with the core message. But with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I don't know if I feel like this is all over the place, to be perfectly honest. I'm going to have to edit it and be like, maybe some things about, because I really just filmed this last minute. I just sat here and started blabbing. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. My next summer challenge is coming out, by the way, on vegan aesthetics. It's a 12-week program, meal plan, home plan and gym plan all included. The link is always the first in the description box. I'll have a video about that next week, but just want to let you know at the end of this one as well, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.